Welcome to Tea Talks with Allison and Mikey. My name is Mikey Needleman, and this is my wife, Allison.
Hello.
And we are talking to you about our marriage and stuff. So,
Super awesome.
yeah.
We've been married for 5.5 years.
We were engaged for about a year and a half before that. And we dated for 2 years before that.
And we've known each other since 2007.
Over 10 years.
Ooh.
Known each other for over 10 years now. And, one thing that was interesting for me, about Allison, was that we were good friends for a long time before we got married. And so she saw me date other girls, and I saw her date other guys, and she knew kind of everything about me, all my
Quirks.
That's a good word. I was going to say all my junk. And I knew a lot about Allison before we even started dating. So that was really great. And then kind of fast forward to 2012 when we got married, September 15th. Got pregnant pretty quickly. Yeah, we had MJ by
A year.
November.
Right after a year.
Yeah, November of 2013. So, all right, MJ, are you ready to do your song?
Yeah.
Okay, go for it.
Prayer, fasting, and thanksgiving. We were meant to repent. 40 days of sacrifice. Being super extra nice. This is Lent.
Good job. Where'd you learn that at?
At school,
Yeah. What grade are you in?
4th grade.
You mean you're 4 years old?
Yeah, and that's why I say 4th grade.
Yeah. You're in preschool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Daddy, what does Daddy do for a job? What's Daddy's job?
Sing for everybody.
Yeah. Ooh.
Even for Nan and Papa.
Yeah. What does Mommy do for a job?
Got hair.
Yeah.
Snip, snip, snip.
That's cool. And what do you know about Jesus?
He loves everyone.
Yeah. And then we had Anderson in 2015.
New Year's Eve.
New Year's Eve, 2015. So, what's your name?
Anderson.
Anderson? And how old are you, Anderson?
2.
How many?
2.
2?
Yeah.
And do you like music?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you like to sing?
Yeah.
Do you want to sing a song?
Yeah.
All right. Go for it.
Done.
All right, say bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
And, yeah, those are 2 boys. Yeah, what's your favorite part about doing hair?
I love that I get to touch people just in being able to talk to them, being able to do their hair, being able to make them feel pretty by the end of the day, and I guess at the end of their appointment. And just hopefully help spread some goodness.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, and I'm a musician, and I've been playing music for a long time, professionally, kind of alongside of ministry. They kind of weave in and out. So I wrote this song a few years back that was intended to be used for the offertory song, or the gathering of the gifts time, which is right after the petitions and the universal prayers, and then right before the liturgy of the Eucharist starts. So usually at that time, Father's kind of getting the altar ready, the baskets are being passed around, and maybe you're reaching for your wallet and putting in some money, and then there's the families getting up and taking down the bread and the water and the wine that will be transformed into Jesus' body and blood. And sometimes we just kind of think of that as like a break in the action. We kind of just sit down and just kind of wait for the next thing to start. And that turned out to be one of the most profound moments for me when I realized that this was kind of like a mini Advent. It's, this little time of waiting and preparing for Jesus to come and be with us physically. Just like in Advent we wait for weeks. We wait about 4 to 5 minutes, and there's a time where you can really say, God, I want to give of my gifts to you. We're called to place all of our gifts on the altar at that point. All of our petitions, all of our struggles, all the things we need prayers for, all the people that are on our hearts, we're supposed to put those up there at that time. And we're also even supposed to put all of the good things, all of our blessings, all of our thankfulness, all of our joy, our hope, we're supposed to place those on the altar. Say, God, like, you will do better with these than I will. You know how to do these better. So I give them to you, as a sacrifice, as a blessing. And, sometimes we kind of forget about that. And so I wrote this song that kind of talks about that, where it's like all the things that we place right there on the altar, right before Jesus comes in our midst. So. All our hopes, all our fears, all our joys, all our tears, all the trials, the end in failure, all the days we did much better, the moments of misery and the victories, we give them back to you, we give them back to you, we lay them at your feet now, we give them back to you, we give them back to you, we lay them at your feet now. Our lives, take our treasure, all we give can never measure to the price that you paid so that we might be saved. It's all for you. All the tests that show our weakness, all the love that leaves us speechless, we give them back to you, we give them back to you, we lay them at your feet now, we give them back to you, we give them back to you. Your feet now. Allison knew me while I was doing music. That's actually how we met. She was at a show of mine. It was a secular show at a bar. And we met, and I was employed at my parish as a youth minister.
Mikey actually got me to go back to church.
Yeah.
Which was super cool.
Yeah, that was really cool, kind of, I don't know, journeying back with Allison back into her faith a little bit. I think one thing that's been kind of interesting for us is since we're both freelance, but she works at one studio and a salon, and I work all over the country.
Yeah, it's definitely, when we very first got married, it's like, oh, this is great. He's busy. But now with 2 boys, it's definitely a little more stressful. It's not easy.
It isn't possible without Allison at all. I have to rely on Allison to, allow me to do this, especially when I know that she's struggling so hard. It's tough for me to be happy and excited and presenting, to people or being on stage, knowing that she's really struggling. So on top of that, we do have family in town on both sides that
we get a lot of help from.
Yeah, number one, I couldn't do it without Allison's support. But number two, I couldn't do it. Allison couldn't do it. We couldn't do it without our family, our larger extended family and helping us, because that's the only thing that really, it's the only way we can do it.
Being a parent, being a spouse.
Yeah, it's
I
tough.
think it's definitely hard.
And, when we first got pregnant with our firstborn, MJ, we were having some issues just being able to communicate in ways that we never had problems before, because we were experiencing these things for the first time. And so to help with that, we actually started going to a therapist to kind of help us to have some plans and kind of
Be able to talk a little more to each other. And I know that it's helped Mikey and I tremendously.
Yeah, I think, you go to marriage prep and you have this idea of what marriage is going to be. And then when it happens, you've never been there before and you don't know how to navigate these waters. And sometimes the easiest person to not be nice to is the one that you love the most. And sometimes the easiest person to blame is the one that you love the most, because they're the only one that's there. And I think Allison's right. It's kind of, at first you're kind of like, oh, if you go to a therapist, that means there's something wrong with you.
That you're failing.
That you're failing and all that stuff. And everybody's marriage is different. Everybody's situation is different. And there's no book for Mikey and Allison's marriage that we could have read or that we can read.
With a perfect marriage.
True. So having somebody to be able to kind of help us navigate those waters has been really helpful.
Love your husband as much as possible.
Yeah.
And as hard as possible. What about you?
Thanks for asking. I would just say, hey, it's just know that when it's really, like, when it's tough and you feel like there's no way that this is what marriage is supposed to be like, that's normal. That's okay. That's okay. That's okay to be, like, completely lost and be like, I don't know how I'm going to handle this. I don't know how I'm going to do this. But by the grace of God, like, know that, like, you're in the right spot and there's a reason that you're going through this and everything. And so anyways, we are the Needlemans.
Thank you.
Yeah. Pray for us.
We need it.
Yeah.
Please.
You know what? We've got 2 kids and there's families who are watching this. They have like 9 and they're like, oh, no idea. Yeah.
Laugh a lot.
Yeah.
It helps.
Sit up straight. Don't slouch. All right. Bye.